Hey, everybody, welcome back to Couch Critics, the show where we break down the things we sat on our couch watching. I'm your co host, Josh, alongside, as always.
It's Dave, man. How's it going, buddy?
I've been better, but I'm good. I'm good. A little sore, had a little slip on the
Yeah,
ice, but I'm
you
good.
had a fall, right? I mean, it's technically February, the end of February right now, right? So
It's
it's not
March
quite as
3rd.
icy. It's March 3rd, but let's say back in January, it was pretty icy outside. So,
It was
anyways,
very icy in my neck of the woods, and I stepped out of my truck, slipped, and landed right on my rib cage. So I'm a little
it's
sore
awful,
today,
man.
but
A-
hey,
As I said, at our age, you're very lucky you didn't break a hip. So it's a good thing for all of us that you're still here,
yeah,
man.
that I'm not busted up even worse. But
You should carry
no,
salt
I'm
with you.
good. That's the plan is to get some of the just to get like a little bottle, like a
Handfuls of
little
rock
soda
salt
bottle, and just kind of shake it on the ground in front of me as I walk.
every time. Yeah, like rose petals. Like in Coming to America, you just have somebody in front of you doing salt.
That's their job.
Not even during the winter, just all the time. Just 24.
Just
You're
always.
like, these sidewalks taste like French fries. But anyways, I'm glad you're okay. I'm glad it wasn't worse. I know you're in some discomfort and pain, so I'll take it easy on you. I promise you won't laugh at all this episode, though.
Yeah. Whew. That's a bold take.
Hmm.
Well, as we like to do.
Well,
Dave,
let me
what
ask
did
you.
you-
Let,
oh,
let me
there it
ask
is.
you a question. By the way,
Uh,
I realize it's been a kind of a while, but we didn't really talk about the Golden Globes. Those were great, right? Like, I think
yeah.
for the most part, some of the things that one battle after another did as well as I hoped it would.
Yeah.
And now I'm a proponent, and I'm somebody who's pushing that movie because I think I love
Yeah.
it so much. Maybe it's not for everybody, but I just wanted to note that I hope people watch it because I really want that movie.
Yeah.
I think the industry needs people to
Mm-hmm.
watch the movies that are a little more not even outside of the box, but that aren't
Right.
cartoons. That aren't
Yeah.
done in front of a green screen. But
I've said this before. I don't love that the Golden Globes break things up by drama and musical or comedy because one battle after
Ah.
another is absolutely not a comedy.
Oh, I laughed so much; it was hilarious.
So-
Especially that
so
the last scene when they get back together, they connect again.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I laughed so hard, the
laugh-
tears
I
are coming down my
laugh
eyes.
and I laugh. But I like that it's broke. I don't like how they break it up, but I like that it's broken up
Yeah.
because it allows for more categories, more winners, more films to get recognized. That being
Yeah.
said, so musical comedy, one battle after another. It's the one I would have picked.
Yeah, yeah,
But the other winner on the drama side, I've seen Frankenstein, I've seen Sinners. I loved both of those movies, but Hamnet won. Hamnet
yeah.
is the new Chloe Zhao movie. She was great. I loved Nomadland.
Yep. She's a great
I
director.
really need to see this movie. I thought it looked good already, and now that
Yeah.
it's a winner, I mean, it boosted its stock in my mind.
It's as we've talked about several times. It's fantastic that female or women directors are finally given some sort of creative control of their projects. Because I mean, and I know it's been happening for a long time, but it didn't exist for so long. It seems like it's such a shame that they were shut out. Speaking of, I actually watched for the first time Ida Lupino's Hitchhiker.
That's such a good movie.
It's great, and I'd never seen it, and I expected it to be good. But I mean, 1953 for her to get to write and direct, a project is
Yeah.
short. It's really short, but
Yeah.
she does such a good job
But
with it.
so dark, so just beautifully done. That's a great movie.
It's a really good
want
movie.
I want to take a moment because I know this is big news for you because you've been a proponent of her for so long. But how about Rhea Seehorn not only getting nominated but finally winning for Pluribus?
Well, so I haven't finished Pluribus. I have a couple episodes left. I do like it. Sci-fi is not my bag, so obviously it's not Breaking Bad or Better Call Saul. But I do like it. I think creatively Vince Gilligan is doing as well as he always has to put whatever material out there he wants. But I think her, and she's great in it. Rhea Seehorn is fantastic, but I almost think they are giving it to her because of the fact that, like, how does she not win for Better Call Saul? It's like it's a makeup one. It's kind of like Denzel
that's what I was gonna
Training
ask,
Day.
because I know, like, Britt Lauer's great in Severance. I
Yep.
know that Kathy Bates is actually really freaking good in this new Matlock. I watched the first couple episodes because Jennifer's into it. Yeah, it's good. I like it's there's a twist that you find out at the end of the very first episode that she's actually kind of going undercover to find the murderer of her child, or her grandson's parent. So there's a whole nother story going on.
Spoiler alert.
Matlock is not really her name. She's playing a character. So it's actually very, very well done for a network drama.
Right.
But the other thing I wanted to ask, what did you think about this whole new category for podcast?
Yeah, to be honest, now I think they all have a visual element. Do you think they do that just so they can participate in these other shows? I don't imagine the Emmys is going to do a podcast category.
No,
I don't.
No, I feel like this should be like a Marconi Awards or something, more of a radio medium type.
100%. I think that a lot of them, including us, post up some sort of a YouTube version of their show. I still don't know if it should be. I don't know. And I think the shows that were nominated are great. I do like them. I think the awards
of the 6, I have actually listened to a chunk of at least of 3 of them. Smartless, Armchair Expert, and Good Hang. Not a huge fan of Armchair Expert. Dax Shepard. I love Dax Shepard as an actor. Don't really care about his show. It didn't touch me. But
I felt the same, and he's very good at it. You know.
Yeah,
but
no,
if we're talking about audience, or if we're talking about, I don't even know how you gauge that, because it's free flowing conversation. It would be like doing an award for best late night talk show, but only focusing on the interviews. No monologue, no sketches, and no bands, no nothing. It's just like, well, how are the interviews done? That just something about that. I don't know. And besides the fact that we weren't nominated, so right off the bat, I think it's rigged.
Hollywood
I think the whole thing is.
Association. We're here. Yeah. We're doing the thing. I love Seth
We've
Rogen.
got 7 people out there listening. Anyway, go ahead.
I wanted to shout out Seth Rogen's acceptance speech, where he said, I had to write. I thought the only way this was going to happen was me writing it into something. So
it was great.
That's what I did. That was great.
Huge fan. And the studio's great. It's so good. But they put out they're so young too. Like, I wonder what the material they're going to put out is going to be like in 10 years. It'll probably be, if it's not their peak now, but I think it'll be their peak in like 10 years.
Yeah.
But anyways.
Speaking of peak, you mentioned we love P.T. Anderson.
Yeah.
P.T. Anderson in an interview said
you said P.T. Barnum, right?
P.T. Barnum about 10 years ago said this. Yeah, no, P.T. Anderson said, for better or worse, Magnolia will always be the greatest movie I ever made. And I feel like I don't.
Did he clarify?
I think
I love Magnolia personally. I get it's not for everybody.
Absolutely, but I don't know that it's not better. Like, I think that he was so young that it was his breakout movie after Hard 8.
Yeah.
And just the sheer number of people he got in, the way he was able to juggle all of those different storylines and have
Boogie Nights. Oh, you're talking Magnolia, right? Which is
Magnolia,
Boogie Nights and then Magnolia, right? Okay.
Right. But he was able to balance all of this stuff in the story. But as a creative mind, how do you say that that's better than the oil? Jesus, I just lost the name.
There Will Be Blood.
There Will Be Blood. Like,
yeah.
I mean, I know why Quentin Tarantino would prefer Magnolia over There Would Be Blood, because he doesn't like Paul Dano. Sorry. I love you, Quentin, but I think you're wrong there.
Yeah, I don't know. It just seems like out of left field, but I know he likes to talk, because, shit happens when those things happen.
Yeah, no, and say what you're going to say, bro. I don't care.
But he did the same thing with what's the other kid? Matthew Lillard.
Matthew Lillard.
Same thing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
We're huge Matthew Lillard fans. Shout out to SLC Punk.
Shout out.
Anyways, I just want to throw that out. I finally watched the Ida Lupino movie that I've been talking about for a long time. I watched a bunch of other stuff, but what have you've got some stuff on your list too? You got anything you want to shout out real quick?
Well, I'm
quick.
I'm gonna list off these first two, Bing Bing, because
Bing Crosby, you said?
Bing Crosby was in neither of these.
Okay.
You mentioned Dragnet last week. Something about we're talking about Mel, Amy. Something about that movie, and I was like, I haven't watched that in so long. So I went and watched Dragnet. Dan Aykroyd, Tom Hanks, Alexandra Paul, a million other people. My God, I hate that movie.
Oh no, really?
I didn't. I was so annoyed, and I know why I didn't like it. It's not Dan Aykroyd. It's not Tom Hanks. It's not Tom Mankiewicz. His direction. It's not.
Is it the score? It's the score.
It's the no. It's that I grew up on Nick at Night and reruns of Dragnet.
Right.
And Dragnet being more serious and being a drama and being
it's an awesome police. Yeah, it's an amazing one.
This just irks me in a weird way because it is so opposite of what the show was. And it reminds me of why I dislike so many of the movie versions of TV shows, because they miss the whole idea of what made
the beauty, the magic.
great.
Yeah, there are some pull it off. Now I say famously the Brady Bunch movie. They did a very good job of not only bringing in these elements that we all recognized and things like that, but also poking fun at them at the same time, which that is how you mock yourself in the material, but still don't treat it poorly. And Dragnet didn't mock itself like it should have.
And like, so I know it was not the most popular. And speaking of Dax Shepard, I like him and Michael Pena in Chips. I thought their Chips movie did a good job because it put the humor in places that it belonged within that story. You love Starsky and Hutch.
I do.
I'm okay with Starsky and Hutch because it's not my favorite just because I get annoyed by Owen Wilson after a little bit.
Right.
But that's just me. I'm not going to say you shouldn't. But Starsky and Hutch is better than Dukes of Hazzard. The Dukes of Hazzard movie was just awful. So it just
and I really like the guys in Dukes of Hazzard. Like Johnny Knoxville's a secret crush. I like the guy, for Christ's sake. Right. I even tried. He has a Fear Factor show. I even tried the new Fear Factor show, and it's just too. It's too foxy for me. Like it's too.
I watched his jackassy TV show that he did just a couple years ago with Gabourey Sidibe and was it Eric Andre?
Yeah, the prank show.
The prank show that he did.
Yeah, I saw that.
The old adage, I'd listen to him read the phone book. I'd watch him
100%
thumb through the phone book. So I'm still gonna watch. I'm still gonna give him my 30 minutes.
Yeah,
at least for the first
it's
episode.
an hour.
It's an hour.
Yeah,
I'm
45.
gonna give him my 42 minutes.
You'll like it. You'll see that there's elements of it that would bring me back, but it's basically Big Brother meets Fear Factor, which is I hate Big Brother. Like I don't care about people's. I don't want to hear people conniving, and I'm not into the idea of like how do we stab him in the back and none of that stuff interests me.
I like a game show, not a reality show.
There you go. And I think that's where they kind of screwed it up. But let me ask you two questions on Johnny Knoxville very quickly. Yeah. They're filming a new Jackass now.
I just read about that.
He just announced it, like on Jimmy Kimmel or something. 6 weeks ago, he announced it. Just did it. But you saw Dumb, right? Did you see Dumb, the story of Big Brother?
Oh yeah.
God, I love it. Where basically it shows his start, where he was a writer and everything else, and the first assignment that he was going to try to do was to test a bulletproof vest.
Yeah.
And he went out with a bulletproof vest on and had somebody shoot him with a 38, a pretty close range, and nobody would do it. And he didn't even, like, they were afraid to do it in city limits because, like, they all thought he might get killed. Do you remember? Like, that's insane. Yeah. The footage is in there. I highly recommend it. I think Hulu has it. The story of Big Brother.
And the cool thing about Big Brother is there's so many other people that got their start there, because That's all of the Ryan Dunn, the whole Jackass crew.
Yeah, the
But
CKY team. Yep,
CKY,
yep.
Spike Jones, so many people all got their start there.
Big Brother Magazine. If anybody doesn't know, Big Brother Magazine was amazing. I hung out with just enough skaters where I happened to see a couple issues in the '90s.
Big Brother is what Thrashin' wanted to be.
Yeah, but like on
Thrashin' just got popular because it was sold at every corner store and gas station. Big Brother wasn't.
Big Brother Magazine would do special issues on kids and things like that, but they were almost a Mad Magazine meets Thrashin', but with absolutely no filter. Like, I think they had a whole thing on telling people how to commit suicide, and they dish out different steps, all those things. Like, you could think what you want to think about those things, but at least they weren't holding themselves back from doing whatever they wanted to do. So anyways, Dumb, the story of Big Brother, it's on Hulu. That's solid, but I do like Johnny Knoxville a lot. Good.
The other movie that I was coupling in with Dragnet, a movie that I like that to me is far superior. I love this movie, but again, it was because you mentioned that they're making a TV show based on this movie, and that's The Burbs.
Yeah.
I love The Burbs. So I'm already in the Tom Hanks
Kiki
thing,
Palmer.
So
Yeah.
Kiki Palmer is going to be in The Burbs. So I watched The Burbs, and The Burbs is, for me, just as funny now as it was in 1989 when I watched it. Like, I love that movie. Love Joe Dante. Love Tom Hanks. I even like Rick DeCommon, who plays like the art
neighbor friend, the John Candy-ish role. Like, you know.
Kind of, yeah, exactly. Yeah. He's the lovable goof from down
Well, he's so good at Scary Movie, right? Yeah. Isn't he? Talking about
speaking of Big Brother, Rick DeCommon is also big time in the skate. Before he passed away, was big time in the skate world. Was the co-owner of the biggest skate company in Canada.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, big time in skating. Anyways, so I watched those two.
Those are. It's unfortunate about Dragnet. I haven't seen it in so long. But I was a huge fan. By the way, did you ever see The Naked City? You've seen that from 1950?
Yes. Yeah.
It's basically the first movie police procedural. It's very, 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 very good. So good. And then they made a show out of it. I've never seen the show, but the movie is insanely good. It is the first of its kind police. Just like an episode of Dragnet, it's so very, very good. Anyways, well, that's awesome. I finally sat down and watched... you know, I'm a Stooges fan. I wasn't always. I didn't understand them for a long time. We've talked.
Yeah.
I finally sat down and watched Soup to Nuts, which is their first appearance on film, their first appearance in a movie. They're with Ted Healy. It's actually Ted Healy and his Stooges, as we've talked about several times. Right. But the only bright spot in this movie is the Three Stooges. The only bright spot.
Really?
Like, if you've never seen it, it's there's an extremely annoying character who is so bad I can't remember his name. People used to say he was the fourth Stooge. Yeah, but he is a mute character. He has big fake eyebrows. I don't know if he's trying to do a mix between Buster Keaton and Groucho Marx without talking, and Harpo Marx maybe. I don't know. It's really annoying. And keeps popping up in the movie. But anyways, I hold back. So finally sat down and watched it. The Three Stooges are phenomenal. There is actually a shot that I still have absolutely no idea how they achieved, especially in 1930, which is they're shooting it from like a bar. They're shooting with the camera at the end of the bar, and then there's a whole mirrored wall at the other end. And so when they're looking down, it looks like the bar goes on forever. But it's not a very long bar, and I'm like, how and where is the camera? Like, they had no ability to digitally remove stuff. Yeah. And it's phenomenal. Like, other than that, the rest of the movie is not good. It's cheesy, it's dumb, it's not that funny. It's like a vaudeville show, which is, I think, where the idea came from. Soup to Nuts, I think, was a vaudeville. But anyways, the Stooges are good. Ted Healy is mean. Like, I don't mean like in the fun Mo mean. I mean like choking people, and I'm talking women, men. Like, that's his shtick.
It's a shorter movie. It's only about 70 minutes. At 70 minutes, is it still worth giving it a try? Or...
Absolutely, 100%. Just because it's a Three Stooges, I wouldn't say for everybody. If you don't like the Three Stooges,
right.
You have no interest in the early comedy and things like that. But if you have any interest in early comedy, the Ted Healy stuff, and especially the Stooges and their first real appearance, yeah, 100%.
So, but what you're saying, Ted Healy is such an a-hole. You know why Wallace Beery killed him,
dude.
Like,
yeah, like the character that he's playing is supposed to be funny. And if you think of the Three Stooges, if you had, I don't know, somebody else doing the Three Stooges bit where they're slapping somebody else, and but there's so much anger in the stuff he's doing. It's so much. I filter it differently than I do them. It's silly, it's fun, it's dumb. But him, it seemed like he abuses his cat. You know what I mean?
Does Mo still have a leadership kind of role among the Stooges?
Yeah, for the most part, yeah.
But he's still subservient to Ted, but he's over Larry and Kurt.
And they're more, they probably have in that whole movie, I don't know, maybe 10 to 15 minutes at the most screen time. Like, they're not the major, they're a smaller part because they have two segments, but they do have a big segment that looks like their stage act, what they did with Ted Healy. And some of this, it's funny. They're funny. I like it. There's some creative choices I wouldn't have made, but I've never really seen Ted Healy, what I think he would have thought was at his peak or his best.
Right.
Just seems like such an asshole. I don't know, I'm filtering or something, but I don't know.
That's funny.
I also watched an Edward G. Robinson movie called The Whole Town's Talking. Now, this is one of those cliche Joe Humble, Joe somebody, works in an office. He's timid, he's shy, he's all these things, and he looks like somebody else. He looks just like, he happens to look like an escaped murderer, a gangster. So he's playing dual roles in this. The Edward G. Robinson gangster. Yeah, see? He's playing that guy, and he's playing this extremely timid Norwegian fisherman father from, what is it, How Green Is My Valley? Whatever. Anyways, he's playing both these characters, which is great. He's so very good in it. The movie is actually pretty good. Jean Arthur is absolutely fantastic. It's from 1935, so I'm sorry, it's a little older. So if some people might not dig it, and that's cool, but it is good. But the split screen, because they do have a body double, and they do have a look-alike in some of the scenes, where especially back of the head stuff. But there are quite a few places I still have no idea how they filmed two Edward G. Robinsons, because there's no way their technology could have been that seamless.
Right.
It's insane. I'm talking like smoke going between the frame from one to the other, and they're literally like, it's both of them were Edward G. Robinson. So I mean, I'm sure they figured it out, but Christ, it's extremely good for that and his performance. And Jean Arthur, she's just phenomenal. I laughed so hard at a couple of bits of hers. But I watched those. I watched a bunch of other stuff. You got anything you want to throw out there?
So a couple other things that I watched. This one I don't need to talk about, but so one of our posts on TikTok was asking people, what's a movie, or name a movie role that just misses even though you know the actor can act, something to that effect. And one of the most popular ones that came up over and over and over again. Kevin
was it my response on YouTube where I said it's Al Pacino in Jack and Jill, in Adam Sandler's Jack and Jill?
No, it was Kevin Costner in Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. So I watched that. I don't have a lot to say about that. This is one of my
this is the 91 Robin Hood.
Yeah.
With Alan
Rickman.
Alan Rickman, Jesus.
Alan Rickman, Morgan Freeman.
Rest in peace.
So this is it's what I would call, or what you would call, a guilty pleasure. I don't feel guilty for any movie I like, but that's kind of the category, because I understand how not good or not well done it is, but I still enjoy it. I have fun.
I do too. I do like it. It was, I was maybe 13. I think I saw it in the theater. It was, I think, one of the first, if not the first movie I went to the theater by myself. Don't ask me why. I went to an afternoon show by myself and watched a movie at 13. I know that sounds sad and pathetic.
City 6?
No, it was in Medford after we moved to Medford.
The watermelon?
Yeah, where I ended up working in Cinemark Medford 4. Shout out to everybody, my peeps in Cinemark Medford 4. But anyways, I went to see it by myself, and I think it was an afternoon show. I think my parents were out of town. They didn't usually leave town, and I think they left me some allowance or some money to order. I don't even remember what it was, but I was like, "Fuck it, I'm gonna go see a movie." And I went by myself. Again, I didn't do this often. I wasn't a loner. I chose to do this. But I came back and felt so enthralled, I was going to try to make a bow and arrow. Now, mind you, I was kind of a dorky, nerdy 13-year-old kid, but I was definitely trying to make a bow and arrow with sticks and stuff at my house, at least for a couple of days. I loved the movie then.
Yeah,
it's a little harder now, but the performances are still mostly good.
Alan Rickman, his performance is amazing. Morgan Freeman is great. Mary Elizabeth Mastrantonio is great. Like, so many of the performances are so good that it just makes Kevin Costner that much worse.
Right. He doesn't hold it up. And Christian Slater, right? Did you mention him?
Christian Slater's not great either.
I just remember in Robin Hood Men in Tights, the famous Carry Always line, where he looks straight at the camera and says,
Robin Hood's I speak with an English accent.
I can speak with an English accent, which is just absolutely phenomenal. But that's too bad. I wouldn't expect it to be good, but
I still like it. I get joy out of watching it. Love the soundtrack. Big Bryan Adams fan. Don't know how it fits into.
I think that's why I haven't watched it again. I had an ex-girlfriend, shout out to my son's mama, who was obsessed with that soundtrack. And I think I heard that on repeat way too many times. But again, if I watched it now, I probably would still go out and try to make a bow and arrow. I'm still just that nerdy 12, 13-year-old kid. So you know what's the difference.
You and I are very similar. We remember the times we saw movies in the theater.
Oh, yeah.
Seeing this movie, Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, myself, Jace Zitting, friend from junior high, we went and saw this one together. We were about 12 because I'm a year younger.
But you had a friend with you?
Oh. I had a friend. I went with a friend. But yeah, so shout out to Jace if you're out there. What's up, buddy? But with that being said, I also... You and I are very much fans of, you already mentioned it, the pre-code movies. I watched a pre-coder this week called
what'd you watch?
Dust Gertie.
I'm going to watch it tonight. How is it? Is it good?
It's fun. I enjoyed it. I had a good time.
It's on my DVR, right? Because I same thing. I can't not record or note a pre-code.
It's everything you want. It's an hour and 6 minutes, which is fine.
I imagine an extremely abrupt ending because every single one is just like, okay, well, we solved the murder, and then they just end. Like it just says the end.
But it has all of this. It has the sexual innuendo, weird tonal shifts, character behavior that is in about 3 years going to be illegal on film. Like, it's everything you want. I had a good time with it, especially, and what I really liked is that I had no idea who Winnie Leitner was. She's the main actress.
I don't know who that is.
Familiar with her. I don't know Lloyd Bacon, the director.
So I do know Lloyd Bacon, but I don't know who the actress is, though. Is she in a lot of pre-code stuff? Or?
No, this is the first time I've ever seen her.
There's a lot of those out there.
Time with it.
An hour and 6 minutes. That's so.
6 minutes.
And
it's easy watch.
Yeah, for so many people to understand, a lot of these pre-code movies, they might be 70 minutes, 65 minutes, whatever they are. They're short, but they cram so much into that without it feels like a 2-hour movie. And I don't mean because it drags on. I just mean because it seems like so much happened.
No, Gold Dust Gertie, it's reminiscent of, not quite as fast talking and fun, but it's very Mae West-ish.
Okay. Got it.
It'll give off those kind of vibes.
Right.
But the last movie that I watched this week that I did want to bring up is I watched this movie from I don't remember what year it was, called The Trouble with Spies. The Trouble with Spies with Donald Sutherland and Ned Beatty, Ruth Gordon.
Okay. It's
just this really, it's kind of it's an espionage thriller, but it's full on slapstick comedy.
Like
Donald
Leonard
Sutherland,
Leonard Part 6 with Bill
like
Cosby.
Leonard Part 6.
I'm
Exactly.
sorry, go ahead.
It's so basically they're like MI6 is sending Donald Sutherland down to Ibiza to infiltrate this gang because he's a terrible spy. And if he dies, he dies. We don't care. It's silliness. But the reason I watched it was because it was Burt Kennedy. Burt Kennedy, who did Support Your Local Sheriff, Support Your Local Gunfighter. This was the movie he did right after that. And it really feels like as much as I love Donald Sutherland in other things,
yeah,
he doesn't have that suave cool that James Garner had.
Right.
And I think this movie would have been 10 times better if it had.
Or James Coburn has in the Flint
James
movies.
Yeah. Oh, in like Flint, that's a good, yeah.
Yeah,
but it's got some really fun pieces. I love Ruth Gordon. I'm a big Harold and Maude fan.
Huge.
Ruth Gordon's hilarious in it.
I like she is phenomenal in those Clint Eastwood bare knuckle boxing movies, which anybody doesn't know. Every which way but loose, any which way you can, and yeah. They're both so much
she's
fun.
Great in Rosemary's Baby. Ruth Gordon is a fantastic actress, and Ned Beatty is this. He's like he's doing the role, but he's very much this. He has a code word that he's trying to say, and every time, like the code word was Trenton. He goes and he'll start talking and he'll say, "From Trenton, New Jersey, you know Trenton." Like he get very obvious when he's trying to give his clue, so it's kind of funny.
Right.
I enjoyed it. It's a fun little movie.
Is this
on
post
Amazon?
Is this post Deliverance for Ned Beatty?
Oh yeah. Because
that's 71.
He's already squealed like a pig.
I wonder if people give him shit on the set if that would, in a fun, joking, working with your neighbors kind of way. Because I would imagine on the set they were having, I'm sure somebody puts a pig stuffed animal or something in his chair as a joke one of the days. I mean, that's what I would do. Not in an offensive or piss him off way, but just it's like, ha ha ha. I mean, it's a huge movie. He should be proud of it, but
Absolutely.
What's that called?
It's called The Trouble with Spies, and it's based on a book, and I love the title of the book. I don't usually bring up this side of it. I've not read the book, but the book was called Apple Spy in the Sky.
Okay.
And it just made me chuckle, so whatever. Yeah. Some little trivia on it. Michael Caine was initially offered the role that Donald Sutherland does. He turned it down, which at this time, 1984, that was weird for Michael Caine to turn down a role. He was doing Jaws: The Revenge. He did anything, so I don't know why he turned it down, but I enjoyed it. It's on Amazon Prime. If you're bored on a cold Sunday morning, give it a try. But
if you're bored on a Sunday morning, watch Soup to Nuts instead.
Or Soup to Nuts. No, the thing about this movie this will tell you everything you need to know. It was filmed in 1983, 1984. It didn't release until 1987.
Oh. So they sat on it for one reason or another. Probably for the special effects. They had a lot of special effects. Until HBO Pictures basically bought it and then released. Figured out. They said, we have this movie. We can buy it for like $400. We might as well get it. Take it while we can.
Yeah. So.
I watched a couple other things.
Yeah.
I watched a movie called Save Yourselves from 2020. The trailer was floating around for a little while there. It's this not yuppie. It's this millennial Gen Z couple. Gen Z's the ones who are in their 20s and 30s now, right? I think whatever. Anyways, this is a couple in 20s and 30s,
just younger than us, and then
the Gen Z,
and then
which I think it's about there. But anyways, it's this couple, like they're from New York. They're both in it's a very modern couple of comedy-ish where they are tech heavy. They're constantly on their phones and their laptops and fully invested in technology. They at one point realize that this is a waste of their lives. It's a comedy. And so like they say, we're going to disconnect for a week. We're going to fully disconnect, no electronic devices. and we're going to go up to a cabin in the woods that a friend of theirs had. And so they go up there, and as they go up there, aliens invade.
Okay.
And so they don't know what's happened. So they're up there chilling out, and like the aliens, by the way, look like very fluffy little tribbles from Star Trek.
Yeah.
Like they're silly. It's just very. I would say I want to call it a low budget. They made a movie on a micro budget, not a micro budget, but some of the same people behind like there's a show called Search Party, which was halfway decent. A lot of the same cast are in this. I do want to say the movie has a bad ending, but it's charming. It's very charming. The couple is funny and extremely charming. Mel and I both liked it up until the ending, but it's one of those movies I can appreciate as somebody who wanted or wishes they were a filmmaker, that I can see they did this great thing on very little money.
Yeah.
There's very little. It's just them at a cabin, and then all of a sudden they just have to put little fluffy poof balls out. Anyways, whatever. Check it out. Check out the trailer for it. Save yourselves. It's halfway decent. I also, for the 30th time, watched the movie, the 1979 The In-Laws. I don't need to go into all that, but it just made me realize how much I love Peter Falk. Peter Falk, I grew up on him. My dad used to do, it was one of the only impressions. My dad was very good at the impression. It was pretty much the only one he could do. But anyways, always a fan. Yeah. But I also, last night had, Mel and I watched Flight of the Phoenix. I've seen this movie because I also grew up on this.
The Dennis Quaid one, right?
No, the 66 Jimmy Stewart has this huge cast. George Kennedy, Borgnine, I can't even think there's so many people. Amy had never seen it, and it's a pretty long movie. It's like 2.5 hours. But if anybody doesn't know, it's very good if you invest the time, because it takes about 45 minutes till you actually start kind of caring what's happening. Does that make sense? Like for somebody who's not necessarily into the subject matter, but it's very good. And she loved it, which is she likes a lot of things. I get that. She has a little more open mind, but I've seen it so many times. I'm glad she finally got to see it. I know I've seen the remake. I know I didn't not like the remake, so I probably would watch that, I guess. But
no, the remake isn't terrible. I
kind of remember
it's shorter, so it's a little bit more digestible, maybe a little easier on the modern palate. But
right, but pretty much following all the same stuff. But how do you replace Jimmy Stewart? You know, Dennis Quaid can't replace Jimmy Stewart.
Is not Jimmy Stewart.
Which, mind you, Jimmy Stewart voluntarily flew bombing and missions in World War II.
Yeah.
He flew like 19 bombing missions across Germany to take out the Nazis, for Christ's sake, in World War II. Like, that is the level. And he was an actor before the war. Like, he had a career. He could have easily said, I have a bone splint or whatever the hell, or bone spurs.
Captain Bone Spurs.
Yeah.
No, he could have done that. He could have joined the war effort and done the USO, the USO type stuff. But no, he chose to, no, I'm young, I'm healthy, I'm going to be fully a part of this because
I'm going to be a pilot. I'm going to be the person flying the missions and successfully did 19 of them. I mean, we don't have many actors like that now. I don't think we have any. But I only watched one more thing. You have anything else you want to throw out? Or let me just put it this way.
I do have one more that I'll throw out just because it is the weirdest thing. So I was watching, you know how when you watch on certain apps and things, if you don't stop it, it'll just automatically play this next up or whatever. Yeah. Well, I don't know how. Well, I do know how. It's because these stupid devices we have, they listen to us. And a couple weeks back, we talked about Jim Varney and the Ernest P. Worrell stuff. Ernest Goes to Jail was the next up and just started playing, so I watched it.
Okay, and
it's terrible, but I loved it. It's not good. The one thing that I do enjoy is that the one thing I do enjoy about it is that because Jim Varney does it, like Edward G. Robinson does a dual role in this.
Okay,
and his dual role is a much more suave character. He's a criminal, but he has to act a little more straight, not the silly earnest that we know. So that's fun, and I do like one of the villain henchmen is
Anthony Hopkins.
It's Anthony Hopkins. You got it. No, you nailed it.
Right off of Silence of the Lambs.
No, who's the there was
Alec Baldwin.
No, Tex Cobb. Randall.
Oh, Randall Tex Cobb. Yeah.
He's former boxer turned actor. Kind of always plays a heavy. He's in
famously from Raising Arizona.
Fletch,
a bunch of stuff. He's the biker in Raising Arizona.
He's the opening in the opening sequence of Ace Ventura: Pet Detective.
Yeah.
So it's fun seeing him in an early-ish role shortly after Raising Arizona. Probably.
Yeah. Famously, the Coen brothers, I think, said they had such a hard time working with him that they never wanted to work with him again. I don't think they usually say a lot of stuff about the actors in their movies. Other than George Clooney, they say they like to make him look stupid in all their movies, which is, I love it.
Okay
I love that the Coen brothers are like, no, we just want him to look stupid. We start with that, and then we work backwards.
Now, what else? What was the other one you had?
So I watched another movie from 1947. It's called Nora Prentice. It's Ann Sheridan. It's Ann Sheridan, and I can't remember who the male actors are in the movie. It's good. It starts with, ironically, it leads into what we're talking about today. It is a flashback. The entire thing is told in flashback. Now, I didn't plan on that, even though we'd already discussed doing a flashback episode. But this is what I happened to stumble across. Ann Sheridan is good. The actors are good. Basically, it is a guy who is living a very milquetoast life, a very vanilla life. He's married, has 2 kids. Every single day he's 19. It's in San Francisco. It's set. It's like 1947, 1945. And he's a well-known doctor in San Francisco, and he shows up to work every single day at the same exact time. He shows up at home for dinner at the same time. He gets up to have breakfast at the same time with his family. He holds them to those standards. He lives this very regimented, very planned out life. He happens to meet a cabaret singer or a lounge singer woman played by Ann Sheridan, who's beautiful and fantastic in the movie. Kind of enamored with her, starts to fall in love with her, and then starts having an affair with her. But because he's a well-known doctor and a person of high society, can't, be seen with her, so they don't really go anywhere. She says, "We can't do this anymore, and I can't be your side piece. I can't sit here in this apartment and wait for you when you're ready to come see me. I can't just sit here on bated breath and hoping you're going to give me time," and all these things. So he fakes his own death through some circumstances and doesn't tell her right away, but then they end up going to New York. Because she's like, "I'm leaving San Francisco. I can't be the person who's waiting on you all the time." He fakes his own death, takes all the money out of his bank accounts, leaves his wife and his kids and all that stuff who think he's dead, and goes to New York with her. She becomes a famous singer there, starts to become a famous singer. And he finally tells her, I pretended I was dead, all these things. So anyways, now he's hiding out in an apartment and can't be seen because people would recognize him because it's a national news story of this doctor's murder. And she's out there gallivanting around with people because she's becoming more and more famous. So he gives her the exact same conversation, like midway, 3/4 of the way through the movie. I can't just sit here and wait for you to. I loved that bit of it. But the entire movie is told in flashback because he's captured the doctor. They finally catch him and everything else. But the movie starts with him being interviewed by his attorney in prison, in jail, saying, "Tell me the story." They think he's the guy who killed the doctor because of whatever the reasons. So they don't think he's the doctor. They think he's the guy who they think killed the doctor. So they're like, "Why did you blackmail and kill this doctor? We know you did it. What's the story?" And then the entire thing is told in flashback. Now, the movie's good. I would recommend watching it. It's a pretty cool little noir-ish thriller, all those things. But the funny thing again is we had a conversation last week about talking about flashback movies. I think we were talking westerns, then The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance, and that's basically entirely told in flashbacks. But anyways, so I did put a list together of some flashback movies. I imagine you did as well. I mean, that's the only homework we gave each other. But you know, I guess the one thing you might have come across the same thing. The one thing I not struggled with, but is I had to kind of define for myself flashback, because flashback is such a storytelling device that I didn't want a piece where like a movie has a flashback sequence in it. That didn't seem right. It's too much. My original intent was Citizen Kane, where the entire movie is basically told in flashback. And so I put a list together. For the most part, they're pretty much following that. What do you got on your list?
That's basically the way that I went with all of this. Specifically, I wanted the story to be the primary storytelling tool to be the use of flashback. So obviously you mentioned the big one, Citizen Kane, and all of those, but
there's huge movies like Goodfellas, Casino, all of those came to mind. But anyways, I'm sure you were trying to not use the big ones. Forrest Gump.
And I think you mentioned the first one that came to mind on my list. I think you and Amy watched it for the first time recently. Akira Kurosawa's Rashomon.
Yeah.
I mean,
very much.
That was the first thing that came to mind. Obviously, once I got past, the Forrest Gumps, the Pulp Fictions, the Citizen Kanes, Rashomon was the first non-obvious choice that came to mind.
Right.
But then another one it's an obvious choice, but it's one that is still probably my favorite of this director, and that's Memento.
Yeah. That was such a weird version of the flashback concept, but it is they juxtapose flashback scenes in black and white into the current story
what's happening right now. Yeah, and it's all in a reverse chronological flashback, so they even tell it in a different order, but so beautifully done.
Another movie, by the way, that follows a very non-linear and similar idea is that we've talked about this 500 Days of Summer.
Yeah,
where it is you're mixing current time and flashback completely. Into this, but it's so jumbled up that you might have
it might be day 300, then it's day 85, then it's day
it's brilliant if you think about how they took a pretty basic love story, 500 Days of Summer.
Yeah,
they just took a pretty generic boy meets girl, girl meets boy, they fall in love, they have a great relationship, it starts to go sour, they start to don't like each other, he still likes her, she doesn't like him, she moves on, he's sad. They take this concept, if you just filmed that and then broke that into like 500 pieces and then start taking pieces and mixing them up, you can create this narrative, which is what they do for the highs and lows of this person's existence based on footage you have that's very generic, really. Yeah,
and
good movie.
So Memento and 500 Days of Summer are both examples of using flashback, but in a non-traditional way. When you watch Memento, the puzzle comes together. I don't think you couldn't put this puzzle together on your own, even if you wanted to be that guy.
I just had a flash of that sick stomach feeling where some movies leave you with something like a pit in your stomach in the ending of that movie. Yeah. The ending of that movie, it's like, oh, you feel sick. Like, oh my, yeah. Are you kidding me? Yeah. It's so brilliant, so good, but
and it doesn't give anything. It's when he literally writes that down.
Yep. And you're like, oh, you son of a, yeah.
I did. Like, I could have written down 100 versions of how I thought that movie was going to end.
Not that. That's not how it's going to go. By the way, again, Christmas Story, all those kind of movies. I don't need to go through. I try to find more obscure. My list is actually really long. I'm not going to do a whole list them out. I'll just pick a couple that I think are worth talking about. Sure. But speaking of Joe Dante, is Amy and I have fallen back to watch Eerie, Indiana from 1991.
I watch it about once a year. I do.
I loved it as a kid. It's Joe Dante put this TV show out. It was on at the same time as Parker Lewis Can't Lose on Sunday nights. I think different networks. And I remember if I was home, which I usually tried to be home, it was like 8 o'clock at night, whatever it was, on a Sunday, that I had to pick between the two, which one I could watch, because this is no DVR. Right. I think there was a VHS in my house, but my dad probably was like, "Don't touch the VCR," or whatever, you know. Right. But anyways, I think I watched Parker Lewis mostly, but I know I've seen almost every, if not every, episode of Eerie, Indiana. By the way, I watched Parker Lewis also, just out of curiosity. If you didn't watch that back then, it wouldn't make any sense. But if you watch it now, it's really obnoxious.
Parker
the
Lewis?
the kids are charming. Garrett Graham is in it. I love him. That was one of the main reasons I would want to fall back is because our guy Garrett Graham. Yeah. But the use of the Dutch angle or the tilted camera, the nonstop movement that doesn't need to happen, the things like that, like they're trying to be Ferris Bueller. It wasn't as charming as but it wasn't as charming as I remember it being.
No, I did,
but it wasn't bad.
A few years ago, I rewatched the first 2 seasons.
Yeah, and I liked the kids. I really liked all the kids.
Yeah, I didn't like the principal, not Garrett Graham, who was the
Miss Musso.
Miss Musso. I couldn't stand her. She annoyed me every time she came up, but I loved her little the quasi goth flunky guy that student. I liked him. He was fun, but her little sycophant. But anyways, Eerie, Indiana. Only got 1 season initially. I didn't know they rebooted it in like the late 90s. Did you watch? Do you watch those? I watched it. It's not great. Yeah, it's a new cast. It's new run. It's a new everything. It's all right. The way that the reboot, what is cool about the reboot is that it's taking place in an alternate reality, Eerie, Indiana. So it's like a new kid.
It's a Rick and Morty meets Twilight Zone meets Eerie, Indiana.
Yeah, exactly. And it's got bits and pieces. They must have paid Omri Katz, who's the main kid.
Yeah, of the first one.
Of the first one. They must have paid him some money because his likeness is used in every episode.
Oh.
On like a flickering TV. So he can see through to the other timeline.
So for anybody who doesn't know or doesn't remember, they only made 1 season. It's like 20 episodes. It was basically like Twilight Zone, family-friendly Twilight Zone that was a little more geared, I guess, towards kids more than I remember it. Because I remember it being, so it's a little schlocky. It's a little cheesy at times. Yeah. It still has this great charm to it. Mm-hmm. They wink at the camera enough to make sure that because Joe Dante, that like, we realize this is silly. We realize this part's, cheesy or whatever, but it's still kind of funny. But anyways, it's charming. I mean, I halfway through
on the girl that plays his sister,
right?
Julie Condra from
By the way,
Real Genius.
Is that what she's from?
Yeah, she's the girl that when Chris, played by Val Kilmer, goes to the professor's house, she's the one that comes down in just her t-shirt.
No.
That's Julie Condra.
So here's my problem with that, mind you, just throwing this out there. I looked at her face and I said, what is she from? And I looked it up and I didn't know anything else on her IMDb. But she has a face that looks identical. Like I could swear she was in some other stuff. But anyways, Eerie, Indiana is good. The reason I brought that up, by the way, is because it's basically told all in flashback, because he's explaining these stories, these weird incidents that happened as he journaled them, like back in the day and this and that. So that's the only reason I brought Eerie, Indiana up.
You did 2 episodes of Parker Lewis Can't Lose also, apparently.
Yeah. Yeah. But like I swear she's from a movie or something. But anyways, another one I have, by the way, which this one, I was proud of, realizing, because when you're trying to plan out a flashback list like this, it's hard to remember, like, is that a flashback movie? And then unless you rewatch it, sometimes it's hard to quite remember. Like, I couldn't remember, is The Postman Rings Twice? I was like, is that one told in flashback? It's not, but I thought maybe it was at first.
Yeah.
But so anyways, proud of myself. Go ahead. What do you got?
No, I'm just listening.
So one is, and I love bringing it up every time, is Trey Parker Masson is Cannibal the Musical. It's taught, it's told in, it's done entirely in flashback at the Alfred Packard.
The story.
And it is, yeah. Anyways, I was proud of that one. What an obscure
another one that we both love is maybe top 2 best Jim Carrey movies, Eternal Sunshine.
Yeah.
Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. It uses it because the entire story is taking place inside of Joel's mind. We're reliving all of his memories in a flashback structure.
I thought about that, like, partially sometimes when I put a list together, and I'm sure you do the same, I might Google it and like add whatever the first 20 things that might come up in a list and stuff. I like Forrest Gump is on there, and those I usually and I try to go more obscure, but that one it is entirely done in flashback because that's the whole point of the movie. And I guess just like 500 Days of Summer is juxtaposing current with these old bits and stuff like that. It's a very different version. Let me ask you a question, and I can't remember again. Is SLC Punk told in flashback? Or is it just at the end he narrates and says, "This is
just the end"? I need to rewatch it again. I'm trying to get Danica to watch it with me, but I need to rewatch that. I don't think it's fully flashback.
Right.
Another.
You want it? Go ahead. No.
I was going to say, what about American Beauty? It's similar to Sunset Boulevard. Sunset Boulevard I wouldn't have put on this list because it's known by everybody, but it's told from the posthumous voice of that main character telling us the story, and Lester Burnham is narrating the last couple of months when everything went sideways.
Yeah, and he when he's dead, which is they just basically they were like, let's just do Sunset Boulevard, but let's just change it to modern suburbia. It's I still love American Beauty. I get it. There's a lot of controversy and heat around Kevin Spacey. I'm not ever going to justify anything anybody does. I don't care what people. Yeah.
I rewatched it. I didn't like it as much now, but it had nothing to do with Kevin Spacey.
I do like Thora Birch. It's not just because she has very nice boobs, but she's also really good, and she's good in other things that I loved, like Ghost World. She's so good in that. And so, like, I don't know where she is now. I don't know what she's been doing. Speaking of Eerie, Indiana, Neil Harris, right? The second coming of the Scream Queen from the Halloween Michael Myers movies and stuff like that. She was in an episode of Eerie, Indiana. And I explained to Mel, I said I had such a huge crush on her when I was younger. She's very short and brunette, which is things that I guess my brain gravitates towards. But I thought she was very... anyway, she's in so many great things. And then I thought, God, what is she doing? Has she been doing anything? And I looked up her IMDb page. She's been working consistently since like 1984, all the way up to now. Consistently, like multiple projects a year. Maybe it's an episode here or there, whatever, but still, good on her, man. I just thought that was incredible, and I'm glad to see somebody who had an impact on me, because she is so frightened in the Michael Myers movies, like in Halloween 4 and 5, and it's unlike Jamie Lee Curtis, where you have at least a grown woman who is capable of protecting herself stuff. You have this little girl who's innocent and frightened and can't necessarily. And a lot of her technique is just to get away and stuff. But anyways, she's great in those. But I don't know where I started with that.
Did she
I got sidetracked.
Or you
you had mentioned somebody else from something else aside. I've sided Thora Birch, I think is what it was. American Beauty. But let me ask you. Here's a really good one that I thought is Life from 1999, which entirely told in flashback.
Yeah,
Eddie Murphy, Martin. It's one of the Martin Lawrence movies I like. Eddie is great. It's one of the times. It's one of those. Like Bowfinger, like it's in that end of where he was still able to bring me to the theater,
Yeah.
and make me watch something, before Disney or family and stuff got a hold of him. But life is very good. The entire thing is told in a flashback from another prisoner who's telling this kid who's burying their bodies this story. Do you remember?
Yeah.
It's a very cool movie.
And it's
underrated movie.
It's one of the first.
Can't get right. Can't get right.
You can't have my cornbread. That's my cornbread. I'm from New
You
York
can eat
City.
your cornbread.
Consequences, repercussions.
I still say that every time Amy and I have cornbread. We still say, "You can eat your cornbread."
Cornbread.
Come on, jangling.
Yeah, that's a jangly.
Don't go pitch and woo.
I have to be honest. I didn't laugh. I didn't think it was funny the first time I watched it. But then I was talking to somebody else who had watched it, and we start reciting lines back and forth, and suddenly it was really funny. I've watched it since, and I'm like, okay, that's all right. That's a good movie.
It's made by who made that? The Demi, right? Ted Demi?
Probably.
Ted Demi? Anyways, that one came up because it's one that I think I was again trying to find ones that would either make you think, oh yeah, like that's the whole point of my list is most of the time.
And I went a little deeper. I went a little older. Have you seen Sidney Lumet's The Pawnbroker?
I've not.
So it's Rod Steiger. He's a Jewish pawnbroker in Harlem, and he's haunted by these Holocaust memories that keep intruding on his daily life. So his
So it's a comedy.
Yeah,
it's a comedy then.
Very slapstick.
You say Holocaust, I start laughing.
The president is constantly interrupted by these traumatic flashbacks. And the flashbacks are very impressionistic. So it's done. It's one of those where it's not strictly told in flashback, but flashback is a major part of the storytelling technique.
Yeah, well, Sidney Lumet is such a great director.
Right. And then there's another one that I found that I haven't actually seen the movie, but I was excited when I saw that this film, the entire film, is a confessional. It's the main character's recollection, and that's 1945's Mildred Pierce.
Yeah.
Which we're getting ready to watch for another.
Yeah, episode. I came up on some lists and I was digging around trying to. I was
like, oh, okay, that fits in.
Yeah, and but I haven't watched it yet. But I'm gonna watch. I'll watch it tonight.
I'm excited. I'm excited.
What about Killer's Kiss, which is an early Stanley Kubrick movie? The entire thing.
It's on my list, but I haven't seen it because I didn't.
Oh, it's really good.
You've done the whole deep dive
run through
every movie. Yeah, I haven't done it yet.
Yeah, every Kubrick film. But yeah, it's this boxer. It starts with him at a train station waiting to see if somebody's going to show up. Like he's like, she said she'd be here. He's narrating to himself, and then it shows the clock, and then it goes back, and he's remembering the whole story of how they got to that point. The entire thing is a flashback. It fits exactly in this criteria. It's actually really good. If you want a good old boxing movie, the setup is better, but Killer's Kiss is very, very good. It's very early Stanley Kubrick too. Anyways, and in that Fight Club, maybe, but
there's another darker noirish movie from 1947 by Jacques Tourneur, who we talked about I think last week. Robert Mitchum, Kirk Douglas movie called Out of the Past.
Yeah, that's a good movie.
It's again, but it's that extended flashback where it's a present day interrogation.
Is it told in flashback? So here's the reason,
because it's a present interrogation flashback, giving the past events as a sense of doom and inevitability
from the point where he was at a gas station and working all those things like that. So when I said before, like I couldn't remember without rewatching some of these movies, I've seen Out of the Past a couple of times. I love the movie; it's very, very good. But just like this one or The Postman Always Rings Twice, stuff like that, I couldn't remember if this was told in flashback without rewatching it. So that's why I did think of it though at one point. Great movie.
That one is, and there's another, and the one that I was excited to talk about was an early-ish Hitchcock 1950 Stage Fright with Jane Wyman and Marlene Dietrich. it's very much, it's all about everything we love about Hitchcock, deception and the, I don't want to give it away, but there's a key detail.
Yeah, I haven't seen it, so don't
I'm not
spoil
going to give
it.
it away. There's a key thing about the flashback that it's a really cool, like, for as early a film 1950 as this is, that he's already undercutting things. I highly recommend Stage Fright.
Yeah, well, just like I will at some point have seen every Hitchcock movie. I haven't seen a bad one. I don't think he made a bad one. All the way up to, what's it, Family Jewels, the last one?
Family Jewels isn't... No, The Trouble with Harry is not great.
I haven't seen it.
It's not great. It's probably my least favorite.
Did not answer the question of what is the trouble with Harry? I'm sorry, that's a really terrible joke.
Harry's dead from the first frame. That's the trouble with Harry. He's dead.
Yeah, that's trouble. It's definitely trouble.
It's Hitchcock trying to do a comedy.
Oh.
Much later, and it just doesn't work.
What about Social Network?
That one came up a lot because it's told through deposition and everything. So
I think it's too big. I shouldn't even mention it. Just forget I said that. Same thing with like Annie Hall or something. But here's one that I thought that I was so happy when I thought about it, which is Biloxi Blues. The entire thing is told in flashback, and then it made me think, of course, the follow up, which is Brighton Beach Memoirs from Neil Simon, where Jonathan Silverman, anybody who doesn't know, he's the dark haired guy from Weekend at Bernie's. Mm-hmm. He's probably 35 in Weekend at Bernie's. I think Brighton Beach Memoirs is right before that, and he's supposed to be like 13. Like, he's the biggest.
Yeah.
Preteen. It's ridiculous. It's very distracting. As bad as Jimmy Stewart pretending to be a 20-something or whatever he is in How the West Was Won.
With his gray hair.
With gray hair and just, like he is. I love Jimmy Stewart, but he is so old, and they're playing his character like he's just a young buck, who doesn't know any better, and that's such a mistake. That's How the West Was Won. Could be a better movie if I could get past that part. That's the same thing with Brighton Beach Memoirs. Jonathan Silverman is supposed to be like, I don't know, 14, but I swear to God, he's taller than everybody else in the movie because for whatever reason. He's got a full beard. He has 2 kids. He's on AARP.
He was only 16 when the movie came out.
Oh my God, he looks so old.
He just
did you see? You look at his pictures. That does not look like a
movie. He doesn't look like a 16-year-old boy.
No, Matthew Broderick I buy as a teenager. Still. Very much. That's what they should have cast Matthew Broderick in that.
Right, and Biloxi Blues, which comes out a few years later, is Matthew Broderick in the same.
Is it after Biloxi Blues came out after Brighton Beach? Or the other way around? I couldn't remember.
The movie.
I think you're probably right. I think you're right.
I thought the movie Brighton. I don't remember. When did the Brighton Beach movie come out?
I'm guessing 86, 87, and Biloxi Blues is 88, maybe.
Something like
that. I love Neil Simon. Shout out to Murder by Death, Peter Falk, and all the fantastic people. I love it. Neil Simon's a fantastic writer, and this is basically his autobiographical stuff, which, Stardust Memories, I think Woody Allen did a very similar but more dramatic version with his little twist of comedy, and a much better version of Brighton Beach Memoirs, to be fair.
Was 86, and Biloxi
88,
Blues, I think, was 88. Biloxi Blues I actually saw in the theater with my mom.
Good movie. Christopher Walken and
Christopher Walken.
I was always I liked it as a kid. It was a good movie to see when I was younger because it gave me a baseline for seeing Ferris Bueller differently. Yeah. But also it had a lot of it had a good amount of heart. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. So,
and as much as I like, by the way, in IMDb, if you looked up Brighton Beach Memoirs, which the Brighton Beach Memoirs is Neil Simon's story of growing up in Brighton Beach, New Jersey, when he in the 1930s and 40s as a young kid, and with a Jewish family, all these things like that. There is a tiny little touch of the movie where the dad in the family is worried about some other family members who are in Germany or Poland getting out, knowing that the Nazis might be trouble. And this is like 1940. 1938, 1940. And so there's just a tiny little mention of that, which I think is huge. That's the best part of the movie to me, is when they're all so happy. They go, they all got out. They got out safely, which is amazing. It barely mentioned other than that. But on IMDb, it says, if you like this, you will... It says, if you like this, you'll also like it. It has Holocaust movies, which IMDb is like Brian Beach Memoirs. You will like Schindler's List and Sophie's Choice. And like, it's, anyways, I'm sorry. I thought that was very funny.
I think Neil Simon needs more love.
Yeah, for sure.
More love for modern audiences. I would love to see some modern tellings of his stage plays. But yeah, Biloxi
didn't
Blues,
they try with the Odd Couple, right? Didn't they do the Odd Couple TV show? They tried to reboot that
with Thomas Lennon
and Matthew Perry.
Yeah, it didn't go over well. I maybe he's better on the big screen. Maybe he's better on the big screen. I don't know. There's another one that what about they shoot horses, don't they?
Never seen it.
Sidney Pollack. It's Jane Fonda.
Yeah.
It's another one of those. It's all built around flashbacks being told from inside a police station, and it's because it's Depression era. It's about a dance marathon, and there's all the breakdown of the contestants.
Yeah,
and they're talking, and it's because the contest is cruel to people and inhumane in the way that they do it. And it's all told through flashback, going back to different points within the contest.
That's cool. I've actually never seen it. I would. I just
it just got to come up at the right time.
How about Virgin Suicides? That's entirely told in flashback.
Yeah. It's
because it's the kid telling a story about
he's
like Stand By Me. He's an older man going back and telling this old story of this weird family.
I didn't put Stand By Me because I thought everybody knows Stand
too
By.
Big. Yeah. It's Forrest Gump. We all get that. But Virgin Suicide's great. That's oh my gosh, what's her name? Coppola.
Sophia.
Thank you.
Yep.
It was that breakout, and I remember I loved it when it came out. It gave us young Kirsten Dunst, and I'm trying to think of anybody else who was in it. There's quite a few actors in it.
Yeah.
But it was such a standalone movie. Like, there weren't other movies like that. It was It was like if Wes Anderson was making a not a creepy movie, but a poignant, dramatic film. Because it was like this guy telling the story of this weird family had all these beautiful girls who were locked, never allowed to leave the house, and great movie.
Yeah, and it is such a good movie. It is not an easy movie to watch, but it does have so many good actresses in it. You mentioned Kirsten Dunst, but it's also Josh Hartnett, Kathleen Turner James Woods and Kathleen Turner are the parents.
Yep, that's right.
So Danny DeVito shows up. There's a lot in there, but you're right. It does have that that almost symmetrical framing. The color palette that they use is pastel-y. I definitely see that Wes Anderson idea.
Yeah, he would have made it a goofier, not goofier, but he would have made it a more palatable version of that same thing. But he could have told the very similar story, and I think it would have come out not that far. Let me ask you a question: is Boys in the Hood told in flashback? It is told in flashback, right? Yeah, it's told. The entire thing is told in flashback because he narrates at the beginning. He talks about when I went to go live with my dad, and I couldn't remember, but I hear these things in my head, and I'm like, is he just narrating a certain scene? But he also talks about Doughboy at the end, and he goes, then this happened, and then Doughboy, and blah blah blah. So he narrates throughout the movie. So I guess in effect, even though it's not a direct sitting down at the beginning saying this is the story, he's narrating a flat as if the whole thing was from the future talked about in the past, right?
Talking about
You know,
this is what it was like.
whatever. I'm messing all my words better, no good now. Anyways, have you ever seen 12 O'Clock High with Gregory Peck?
No.
It's a RAF
3
Squadron
O'Clock High
movie.
with Casey Siemaszko.
I love that movie. Such a good movie. And I can never remember his name, the bully.
Yeah, Richard Tyson.
Richard Tyson. Thank you. Good job. He owns the chicken company, right?
Yeah,
But anyway, 3 O'Clock High is so good. Also because it came out at a time when I was, a teenager, and the idea of being a nerdy little kid or nerdier kid in school and then having some, big bully and stuff. Very cool movie. But anyways, that was not told in flashback. But 12 O'Clock High is like 1949, I think. Gregory Peck it's basically RAF, the Royal Air Force, defending the shores against Germany. But the whole thing is told in flashback where some random pilot gets dropped off by a cab in the middle of like this whole big field or whatever, and he's standing, and as he's walking through, he picks up a jug, like an old ceramic jug they used to have. It was had a Robin Hood figure on it or whatever. And then he picks it up at a pawn shop. Excuse me, my mistake. He picks it up at a pawn shop, sees it, and then all of a sudden starts having this memory of how that same Robin Hood jug, the same one from this pawn shop, was in the squadron's place, their base or whatever, and that they used to turn it different ways, whether they had planes out flying bombing runs or not. So anyways, and the whole thing is told in flashbacks. Insanely good World War II movie. Gregory Peck, I love him in everything. This is him at one of his best. He's very early Gregory Peck. It's his like To Kill a Mockingbird level, which by the way, that's another flashback movie. But anyways, it's so good. 12 O'Clock High, I highly recommend it. If you like World War II movies and stuff. But it's a very cool story that uses a lot of basic. Just how difficult it was for England, this small little nation, to defend against the might of Germany, Nazi Germany, as Chamberlain, historically accurate, Chamberlain had given everything over and just conceded to whatever this madman in Germany wanted to do. And so then they were too big and they didn't know what to do about it. And then this tiny little England is trying to defend itself. Yeah. Anyways, it's a very cool movie. 12 O'Clock High. I do recommend it. And the whole thing is told in flashback. Has some really cool aerial scenes because it's 1949. One of the best things about like 1945 to 1952 movies is, especially if they were war movies, is they had access to a ton of actual footage from bombing runs and stuff because the war's over.
Turner saved $65 billion.
Yeah, that's right. But the war's over, so they got a bunch of access to the footage of planes in the skies, also, but also the access to planes, which is the greatest time of our lives.
Best years of
our lives. Gosh, thank you very much. Yeah. That graveyard, which we all know the graveyard from Can't Buy Me Love. It's the same. It's one of the same ones where they go look at the moon.
Yeah,
inside of one of the planes in Can't Buy Me Love.
Back when I actually liked Patrick Dempsey.
Yeah,
I don't not. That was the wrong way to say it. I don't not like Patrick Dempsey. He just doesn't
like Loverboy
roles that are for me.
Yeah, I feel like he went ER, not ER. Which one he's on? Grey's Anatomy.
Grey's Anatomy.
Yeah, okay.
Dreamy.
Which somehow that's still on, which is awesome. Good for them. It's just not my cup of tea. Anyways, that same graveyard in The Best Years of Our Lives, which is also a fantastic movie. It's so extremely beautifully done. That's also Greg Toland, right? Didn't he do the cinematography on that? But anyways, beautifully done. They have all these planes that are not fully decommissioned yet, so they look like bomber planes, and just thousands of them lined up in this field.
Yeah.
Everybody knows the movie. It's very good, Best Years of Our Lives, but 12 O'Clock High, they had so much access to these planes also, but actually flying versions of these planes you're like, how the fuck did they get, there's no way you could afford that many, it's like Catch-22, which is Mike Nichols' film,
Yeah.
where they only had like 17 or 18 B-29s, I think that is what they had to play with, or maybe the B-17s, and they only had this small amount of them, and so they had to keep flying them and then making them land again and then take off again so they can make a continuous shot to make it look like there's a lot more of them or whatever. But anyways, in 1949, when 12 O'Clock High was done, they had access to as many of these planes as they wanted because they were all trash. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to go off on a tangent there. I'll digress, but anyways.
You do digress. No, there's also this great movie that I'm a huge fan of. It's a noir film directed by Fritz Lang, starring the aforementioned Edward G. Robinson, called Scarlet Street. The story is told through like a retrospective structure, right? So the flashback, it's all about, so Edward G. Robinson playing like this kind of a more sad sacky kind of role. He's a cashier and part-time starving artist. So, and then he falls for Kitty March, the beautiful noir girl that you always love, but she's only interested in this other guy played by Dan Daria, and it's Kitty and Johnny find out that their art dealers are now interested in Chris, Edward G. Robinson's art, so they start to con him out of his paintings. It's this whole it's a con artist noir. It's a lot of fun. I really enjoy that one. It's 1945. It's much later Fritz Lang. Post Metropolis, post M.
Yeah,
but it's a lot of.
I've seen his later stuff. It's still very good.
Oh, yeah.
He always had an eye, and he came up through that early German expressionist film stuff. So that stuff doesn't just go away.
Yeah, that doesn't. But
like that's why I like Murnau and stuff. Also, it's just that same mentality.
And it was just this is the first movie I ever saw where Edward G. Robinson isn't playing like a hardened character. He's very sad sacky, and it was weird to juxtapose. I was used to Little Caesar and all of
going back to what the whole town's talking, right? The town's talking.
Yeah.
Where he's playing both roles. He's very charming, and he has a love interest, like a girl he has a crush on. He's playing Joseph Gordon-Levitt on one side and then Tony Montana on the other side in this one movie. But it's very cool. And he has some of these really soft roles I've seen. Like there's a movie he did called Tiger Shark, where he's a fisherman in this small fishing village and stuff like that, and he gets his arm taken off by a shark. Yeah, but like he's playing more like a pirate in this, but this soft-hearted, jovial, jolly, like it's kind of a combination of like Snake, Apu, and Chief Wiggum. Like if you combine those three. Yeah. But anyways, Tiger Shark, it's a cool movie. The guy had a lot more range than the cartoons. I knew before I started this what Bugs Bunny had told me, which is that he just was a gangster with this cigar in his mouth, going like, see?
Right. Everything I know about Peter Lorre and Edward G. Robinson I learned from Bugs Bunny.
100%. And Bing Crosby and stuff. But that's
and
also
Durante.
That's a baseline for my knowledge of them, which is better than not knowing anything at all. You know,
Tiger Shark is a Howard Hawks film.
Yeah.
Oh, I got you.
It's good. It is good. That's not the greatest thing, but it's pretty good. Another one I have, by the way, is and this is a big one, so I probably shouldn't bring it up, but All About Eve.
Yeah.
The entire thing is told in flashback, but just done so well.
And it's told by the acid tongue critic.
Yeah. Let me ask you a question. Does Santa Claus is Coming to Town? That's all told in flashback, isn't it?
If you want to bring in
the Rankin and Bass, the Rankin and Bass Christmas one, where the entire thing is told by somebody narrating about back in the day.
Let me tell you about this one time when the Burgermeister Meisterburger took all the color and Christmas away. Let me tell you about this. Speaking of, is it Bing Crosby?
Yeah, I think so.
Doing the narration.
Yeah, which as a mailman, Bing Crosby
That's
playing
the
Bing Crosby
mailman,
the
'cause
mailman. So
you know,
yeah.
the mailmen, they're the first to know about all the. But
What else you
yeah,
got?
there's some good ones. Was the Killers done in Flashback? The Burt
Or
Lancaster,
Hemingway's
movie?
Hemingway.
Hemingway's.
I haven't seen it.
Okay,
Yeah, his story, but
maybe
yeah,
maybe
I have not seen it.
somebody tell
I
me if
don't
it was. I don't
know.
remember. I watched
Maybe
it a
I'll
long time ago.
I'll find out. Yeah,
Somebody tell me.
it looks great, and it's been on my list to watch. I just haven't gotten around to it.
There's one animated film.
Have you seen the?
Oh, go ahead. I was going to say there's one animated film
Yeah.
on my list. It's a French movie by Marianne Satrapi is the writer director. She actually wrote a graphic novel and then she was able to make it in a movie. It's her story of growing up in Iran before, during, and after the Islamic Revolution. And
Wow.
shortly after the Islamic Revolution, her family emigrates to France, which is why she's able to actually tell this story. But it's animated, it's beautifully done. It's narrated in flashbacks, showing how she grew up amidst all of this backdrop of national crisis. Because anybody that doesn't know, prior to the Shah of Iran and that whole takeover, Iran was a very westernized country. It was at the forefront of technology and everything else and was a very Western ideal. There's some great pictures that you can go see of them in the 70s prior to and just after. And this being done as an animated film, it's really beautiful and done in a flashback.
What's it called?
Movie. It's called Persepolis.
Oh, I know the movie. I've never seen it.
Yeah.
Is it good?
It's amazing. Amazing.
Yeah.
It's absolutely wonderful movie.
It's like Parthenope. Parthenope, by the way,
Parthenope
is also told in flashback, but that's on nobody's list. But it's a great movie, Parthenope. That's awesome, man. Persepolis.
Persepolis. In 2007.
Have you seen a movie called Detour from 1945? It's another hitchhiker movie. It's another hitchhiker movie. It came out in 1945, so it predates Ida Lupino's Hitchhiker. It's not the same movie by any means, but it's also told in flashback where this guy is at a diner and everybody keeps like, people are sitting at a counter in a diner and this guy looks gruff and surly, unshaven, trying to keep to himself, and people are like, "Hey, sugar, how you doing?" They're pouring him coffee and like, have a rough night, and he's like, "Leave me alone," and all these things. So he's really gruff and upset, and like people are like, "What the fuck's wrong with this guy?" And then he starts thinking back to how he got to this point, and basically he was in love with he was a piano player in New Orleans or something. He's fell in love with the singer there. They were going to get married. The guy owned the club. Something like was going to kill him for liking the girl. None of that matters. The girl leaves, goes to California, and then he follows, I think, hitchhiking to go catch up to her. That's the basic impetus for the movie, but it has nothing else to do with it. But he ends up hitchhiking, and he gets picked up, and he's happy-go-lucky. He's a very innocent guy. It's a noir picture from 1945. It's very early noir, but he ends up getting picked up by this guy who buys him dinner because he doesn't have enough money and all these things. Everything's cool, and then I don't think they explain even why, but I'll just tell you, the guy who owns and drives the car dies. I think he's supposed to be asleep in the passenger seat, and the hitchhiker's driving for him. And then he realizes he's dead. He goes, "Oh my God, this guy just sitting next to me died." And he's like, "What do I do? Do I call the police, or like we're in the middle of nowhere?" So instead he goes and he hides the body, takes his wallet, and pretends that he's this guy so he can get to California. Like, and it doesn't play mean. It doesn't play like he's a bad person even. So whatever they did film-wise, they don't make it seem like he's this huge piece of shit for doing that. Even though it's kind of a shitty move, don't get me wrong. Yeah. I think the guy said he had no family. He's alone in the world or whatever it is. I don't remember what the thing is, but you didn't hate the main character for doing this thing. Exactly. But Anyways, he starts driving and he picks up a hitchhiker, and I keep thinking it's Ida Lupino, but it's not. But he picks up this girl hitchhiker, who all of a sudden turns to him and says, "Did you kill him?" And he goes, like, how do he, in an inner monologue in his head, he's like, how would she know? What is she talking about? And she goes, I got picked up by this same guy. You're not him. I got picked up like 3 weeks or 2 days before, or whatever it is, going back across this state. You're not him. What did you do? Kill him. And so he freaks out. All these things happen. She's like, I'll go turn you into the police. So she starts blackmailing him. The whole thing takes place in this drive across the country where she's going to get all the money. She's going to make him sell the car and give her the money, all these things. Cool movie. It's called Detour. But the whole thing is told in this flashback of his memory instead of him actually telling the story, but it's still his memory of how he got to this point where he's sitting in this diner and he's pissed off at everybody. Yeah. And it's because this lady is one of the most obnoxious and horrible characters in film I think I've ever seen. Really? Is the girl he picks up. I know there's a lot of info to throw out there because it'll give it, they're going in blinds a little easier, but it's a cool movie. Yeah. Detour. It's noir. It's short. It's very good. Anyways, I have that. I only have one more. What else you got on yours?
You know what? Persepolis was my last one that I had to mention.
Well, first of all, let me ask you, just verify. Is Lady Snowblood, that's not told in flashback, is it? No, they do a flashback in it. There's a flashback in it. Because it's showing how she got to where she is, but it's not really told in that way. What about, does 12 Monkeys fit?
Yeah, I mean,
because there is flashback in the movie, but it's not really the whole.
It has a Memento vibe to it because nothing really makes sense, and it does bounce around in a nonlinear structure. So I think it's definitely using flashback as the primary storytelling technique. All leading up to that bad wig that Bruce Willis is wearing.
Yeah, but yet I couldn't remember. I've seen it a bunch of times. We've talked about it recently because of my Terry Gilliam thing. But I couldn't remember if the whole thing is... It's not entirely in flashback, right?
Not completely, but enough. The flashback is what I think keeps us as viewers off kilter.
Right.
That we never really know where we're at in the story because it keeps dropping us into a different area in the timeline.
Yeah, it's more it's time travel.
Time travel.
Right?
Yeah. I think time travel is the more accurate use.
Yeah. We should do a show about time travel movies.
Time travel. All right.
That's what we should do next week.
Time travel. I want to travel in time.
Me too. There are the silly ones. There are the more serious, dramatic ones.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That'd be a fun episode. We should do that. We should have a discussion about time travel movies. What do you think?
Can we avoid Back to the Future though? Do you think it'll be possible?
Yeah, definitely. I think we can avoid the big ones, except for the time machine.
Back to the Future's coming up just because we're nerds and that's what we do. But no,
I meant no. Back to the Future 1. I'll talk about 2 and 3. Back to the Future 2 and 3.
Okay.
I'm not gonna talk about. We're not gonna talk about 1.
As long as I can talk about time travel westerns and get.
We could talk about the Eric Stoltz Back to the Future 1, which I like when they point out the different scenes where you can still see Eric Stoltz in them. Oh, that poor guy. They filmed like 40% of the movie. Yeah, like they had a lot of his scenes done.
This just isn't working. This guy sucks.
How do you come back from that as an actor to get that far?
You call up Cher and say, "Hey, what if we put me in a lot of makeup?
Make me Rocky Bullwinkle. What's his name? Rocky Dennis. That's right.
and we'll call it Mask." One more shout out because you mentioned Wes Anderson. Grand Budapest Hotel is almost entirely told as a story within a story.
Yeah,
flashback.
Isn't all Wes Anderson's movies, like most of them, because there's a narrator telling the story of how the people, like, I thought about that too.
Yeah. Here's the thing with Budapest Hotel is the one that is so much that way because they even open the book to different parts of the story.
Do you think that's his best movie?
Best is it's my favorite.
Yeah.
It's my
I've only seen it once. I only saw it once in the theater. I've not seen it again. So I don't feel like a first watch.
I saw it in the lead up to the 2015 Oscars or whatever. I haven't watched it since then. But I absolutely love that movie. Love that movie so much.
As we always say, Wes Anderson gives us a new actor every movie.
Yeah.
Some new, like, here's the new talent I'm going to put out into the public. And he gave us the, what's his name, that one kid? You know, you would know his name.
What's his name?
Well, come on. He's in a ton of stuff. But anyways, comes from obscurity to, but he's like the lead in the movie, basically, or the second lead in the movie.
And I think the flashback film, to put a bow on it, the flashback film is something that just about every major director does it at some time or another. James Cameron with Titanic, Bryan Singer with Usual Suspects, Rob Reiner, Stand By Me. But one that we didn't mention,
shout out Rob Reiner,
Oscars, and I still think is underrated, even though it won Oscars, and that's Slumdog Millionaire.
Yeah, it's on my list, but it's a pretty big one. I did actually have that.
It gets overlooked by a lot of people.
I mean, I had Cinema Paradiso also.
Oh, that's another one.
And Once Upon a Time in America, I have American History X. I think we talked about The Men Who Stare at Goats.
My original list had Once Upon a Time in Hollywood because Cliff Booth is telling us a story about the past.
Yeah, just they're big. They're
Part 2,
right.
But anyways, that being said, I think we need to put a bow on this thing.
Bow it.
A bow on it. And remember, Dragnet is not a flashback movie or worth watching again.
It is not. Not Tom Hanks, not Dan Aykroyd. It's not their fault. Watch Turner and Hooch instead.
Turner and Hooch. Or Dr. Detroit if you're a Dan Aykroyd guy.
With TK Carter. With TK. Shout out to TK.
So
R.I.P.
This has been another episode of Couch Critics. If you enjoy any of the shenanigans we get into on this show, please, wherever you listen to podcasts, give us that 5-star review, leave us a rating, and leave us a review. Let us know what you like about this, because Dave loves
any validation, just some love or comments. Just say to keep going. Yeah. Tell us keep going, or tell us stop if you really want us to stop.
I'll ignore you, but
I won't stop. But tell me.
Stop, won't stop, never stop.
Engage.
Stop.
Engage and validate.
So we're doing time travel next week. Is there another topic that you would like us to talk about in the future? Let us know. We're always looking for ideas, because between me and Dave, we only have about 3 thoughts between us.
We had one from somebody about 2D hand-drawn animation.
Yes. So we're gonna be looking into that for down the road, because who doesn't love some good animation?
Exactly.
And the mixed animation and live action together, the Mary Poppins.
Oh, that's a good one too.
So
Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
Yeah, those things are on the horizon. Keep sending in your ideas. Check us out wherever you get your podcast. We're on the socials, on Instagram, Threads, YouTube, and TikTok at Real Talk. We try to engage with everybody and have good, positive conversations. So
positivity.
Check it out. And Dave, how do we close out today?
Watch what you love. Love what you watch.
Because here at the Couch Critics, we're never yucking your yum. Thanks.
Flawless as always.
One of these days we'll get it.